Hi, this is Toby from LITH-TECH Mobility. So in today's video, we're going to be recapping on the difference between a budget chair versus the quality chair. So we touched on this a couple of months ago, and we basically exposed some of the people in the industry who were selling the cheaper end of the market. Basically, the chairs that were costing 800 to sort of 1,500 quid, they're basically buying through China, costing about $350 to $550. The point of the video was you can't buy a quality chair if you're only spending between 800 and 1,500 pounds. I'm now going to go into what the differences are, because we get it all the time saying your wheelchair looks just like your competitor's wheelchair, and to be honest, I wouldn't even call them competitors. We're completely different ends of the market. We go for quality components. Chairs with more substance that will last, they're more comfortable, they're much more capable, they're lighter, they're more nimble, more responsive, they're generally more intelligent, hence why we can justify a higher price. And by no means is LITH-TECH at the top of the market in price. We're somewhere, I would say, middle to three quarters, I'd say, but we're certainly not the low end. Reason being is because we've got a reputation to uphold. We're the #1 specialist in the UK for a reason, because all of our chairs are quality with quality components. So let's get into the nitty gritty. Why not to buy a budget chair? So with a budget chair, we're going to work our way through the chair, and we'll start with the wheels. So on a budget wheelchair, you've got lower grade wheels. They're going to always be PU, polyurethane. That's a plasticky rubber composite. What that means is they'll be slicker, they won't have as much grip, won't be as hard as wearing, and 9 times out of 10 they're going to be pneumatic. So what that means is if you go out and about and you go on rougher terrain or anywhere you could potentially get a puncture, you could end up completely stranded and stuck. The last thing, and this is why we would never ever have a pneumatic tyre in our range, the last thing you want with a vulnerable person is being stuck in the middle of nowhere with a puncture. Whereas on a LITH-TECH or other quality brand, you will get higher grade wheels. They're going to be made of rubber, which is going to be more hard wearing. It's going to be far grippier. They're going to last about 4 times longer as well. Yes, they're more expensive, as in all these parts are more expensive, but you get what you pay for. Like, it's quality. What we're basically saying is the difference between buying something like a Ford Fiesta and a Mercedes, BMW, Porsche. I know people might not be car people, but yes, they both do a job. They both get you from A to B. But this one's going to get you there much more safely. It's going to get you there with more comfort, and it's going to be much more durable, and it's going to be more reliable. Right. So let's talk about puncture-proof tyres as well, obviously. Talk about the frame. So frame material on your budget chairs, they're always just going to be alloy or an alloy magnesium mixture. On a quality chair, they're always going to be aerospace aluminium, sometimes aluminium. Or an aluminium and titanium blend, which basically gives the chair more strength, but it keeps the chair lightweight. So weight, talking about weight, your budget chairs, they're always going to be bulkier, they're always going to be heavier. Most of the budget chair competitors completely fabricate their weights, or they say something like frame weight, and then they're not actually adding any of the components. So they say a frame weight's 24 kilos or whatever, and they're not actually adding on the whole chair, including the batteries and things like that. So be very careful when you're doing your research into these companies. Ask what is the total weight of the chair, including batteries, and then what is the weight of the chair without batteries. Then you'll actually get some real answers, and you'll start seeing they're creeping up to 32 kilos, 33 kilos, things like that. To put it in perspective, our maximum weight chair that we do here is 28 kilos, and that's our recliner. And that's because it's got the reclining feature. Most of our smart chair range are sort of 26.5, 27 kilos with batteries, reduce 3 kilos to remove the batteries. So lighter, our chairs are more sleek and they're more compact. That means they will take up less room, they can get into a smaller car boot, they're easier to lift, they're easier to transport. Right, motors. So on a budget chair, you will only be buying a chair with brush motors. Their motors are going to be much heavier, they're going to have lots of resistance, and they're going to be bad in freewheel mode. So inside a motor, you've got lots of little brushes. When your wheel's rotating, your motor rotating, you're getting caught in those brushes. That's what creates the resistance. on a LITH-TECH chair or a quality, I'm not just going to say LITH-TECH every time because I'm talking about the overall market. You can buy a quality chair, it doesn't have to be from us, but I'm just saying don't buy budget because they're rubbish. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, they're just rubbish. Right, so going to be brushless motors. They're going to be better in electric mode. They're going to be far more nimble, far more responsive. They're going to tackle hills much better. And they're going to have almost zero resistance. I mean, in the case of our SmartChair X, for example, that's a high torque 250 watt motor. The rest in our range are mid torque. And that's actually got zero resistance. So I could push this from one side of the room to another. If you tried to push in freewheel mode a chair with brush motors, you get about 4 or 5 feet, absolute tops, maybe even 3 foot. Where are we at? Motors, yeah, and great in freewheel mode, just touched on that. So joystick, you'll notice the difference between a quality chair and a chair with brush motors and a less responsive joystick. It's because they will be attached. It will be a joystick and a big thick lead going all the way down to the motors, and it will bypass any sort of brain or controller unit. So they'll be less responsive, they'll be unintelligent, they're also not removable. So it's, when you're folding the chair and things like that, or you want to protect the joystick, it's so much easier to have a joystick that actually unclips and you can remove it and put it in the little bag underneath. You'll find on most of the budget chairs that it's just all one big thick lead and you can't remove the joystick. Whereas on a quality chair, you've got a more responsive joystick. It's usually going to be more sensitive, so it's more nimble. Also, they're removable, which means you can protect them more, better for storage, getting a sleek design, and they're intelligent. Batteries. So, if you buy a budget chair, remember these chairs in this bracket are actually $350 to about $600–700 to make. That's why they go for these sort of prices. That means your batteries are costing like 50 quid a battery, absolute tops. They're not reliable. These are the batteries you hear about in the news which explode or blow up, catch fire. It happens in local mobility shops. There's been a couple quite recently because they are not quality batteries. They're always going to be heavier. They're going to give you lower range. So, and be very careful. There's a massive difference. I mean, we'll be completely blunt with you on our specs. There's something called a treadmill range or a max range, and then you've got a real world range. A max range is the total range the chair can do, basically on a treadmill basis before it runs out. That's your max range, and that's what everyone puts in the specs. A real world range is once you add a human being in the chair, which is obviously extra weight, you're adding different terrain types. So that means a little bit of hills, the odd bit of rough surfaces like grass, or a dog walking path. Anything that makes your chair work harder is going to use up more battery. So actually ask them, yeah, that's your spec range, but what's your real world range? You see that range go from something ridiculous, which is already overstated, like 15 miles, all the way down to about 5. Right, batteries of low quality, they'll probably last you 2 to 3 years. Ours will last you between 4 and 6, or a quality chair will last you between 4 and 6. We've actually been going nearly 8 years now, and we've still got customers from that ordered SmartChair 1 that are still on their first set of batteries. So those chairs have got to be about 7 years old. I mean, that's not normal. That's a really, really good battery life, to be fair, but you should at least spec 4 to 6, whereas you're only going to get 2 to 3, and especially after your second to third year, the range that those batteries will be producing is probably diminished about at least 25 to 30%. Most budget chairs, batteries are wired. That means they're fiddly, they're usually underneath the chair, they're probably quite hard to get to, whereas most of quality chairs, there's still also some wired. I mean, our SmartChair X is wired. They're quick release wired batteries, so it's still only 10 seconds to remove, but they are wired. But most of the rest of our range, they're all wireless batteries. They're quick release, so it's easy to maneuver them. Easy to remove them within a couple of seconds. They're going to give you much better range. So on average, our SmartChair X, that does 20 miles treadmill, real world 15. Our other chairs do on average 15 treadmill and about 10 real world, which is far better than our competitors, especially considering 99% of our batteries other than the SmartChair X, they're all 6AH. So for 6AH to do that sort of range is what a lot of other companies, sort of 12AHs, will do, simply because of the quality of the battery and where they're manufactured from and the type of factories that manufacture them. We only get, and the same as all the other people that sell quality chairs, there's about 4 decent factories, and most of the world's chairs that are quality will come from one of those 4 factories. All the rest of these budget stuff come from all the also-ran factories or the wannabe factories, which are not reliable, they've not been going long, they've not been tried and tested over years, and they're the ones that have all the mistakes basically, or the ones that catch on fire, etc, etc. Right, into where we at? So these budget chairs, they've got no brain, which is no control unit. Control units, basically, you've got your joystick at the arm of the chair, it goes down your lead to the brain then emits power or an intelligent signal to your motors to tell it what to do. You don't get a brain on your budget chairs, as in with a LITH-TECH or a quality chair, you get a brain. That means response time is much quicker, and it's far more intelligent with creating commands like stopping, moving, everything. Can't be programmed. Now this is a massive one. So budget chairs on the whole cannot be programmed. Because the reason being is what you're programming is you're programming the brain, whereas if you buy a quality chair, you can get programmers for them. That means whoever buys a wheelchair from us, we can tailor make it to your specific needs, your disabilities and your use case. So if someone wants to use a wheelchair inside, what we'll do is we'll tone the chair right down with the accelerator and the punchiness of the chair, and also the top speed, the way the chair swings from side to side, things like that, and stopping distance. You want it all to be toned right down. However, if someone wants to buy a chair for outdoor use, we're going to keep it manufacturer settings as much as possible, because you're going to want as much capabilities of what the motors and the brain has to offer. Also, if you've got a care assist pack, for example, it's very hard to add things like care assist packs to budget chairs, because if you have a care assist pack, which is a bracket with an extra joystick from behind, you have to program these chairs down. Otherwise, you look like you're something from a cartoon being dragged behind a chair. And to be honest, the majority of people that go for care packs are usually couples that are more aged. It could be because their partner have had strokes or they're having Alzheimer's, that kind of thing. And they need to be able to keep up with the chair. So when we have people in these situations that buy the care packs, we'll usually program the acceleration down to anywhere between 1 and 5, and manufacturer settings, to put it in perspective, would be 15. And we'd bring the speed down from 20, which would be manufacturer settings, to something like 8 to 10. So we're literally reducing it by about a quarter. You don't have that luxury on a budget chair. Same as if someone's got Parkinson's, for example, straight away we would tone down the sensitivity of the joystick so they find it easier to control. These are things that you're going to get from a quality company and quality chairs. You can't get that from budget chairs. So these type of chairs, they're sold on marketplaces like Amazon, eBay. You don't really have a point of contact. You can't call up to ask how you want the chair set up. They can't discuss your needs, your disabilities, what you want to use the wheelchair for. How can you sell someone a product if you don't know what their intended use is? You don't know their height, you don't know their weight, you don't know what their lifting capability is. How can you ask these back and forward questions if you're buying these cheap chairs from a marketplace? Do they have warranty items, or do they have to buy them from China, which is going to take 2 months? You know, we've got a whole 1,000 square foot unit here dedicated to spare parts. We've got over 1,000 spare parts in there already on next day. You're not going to get that from people that are selling these budget chairs. It's either marketplaces or kind of cowboy new companies that have just started up. All they care about is making the money, because if they cared about their customers and selling quality products, they wouldn't be buying chairs that cost $350 to actually be produced and then in the UK sell them for $800. You just can't buy quality products for that. So those sort of companies are going out for one thing, and that's repeat business. No, sorry, not repeat business. That's one-time business of a sale just to make money, because they don't have the knowledge. They've not been going long. If you knew about people's disabilities, you know you can't possibly sell a chair that can be sold for £800. It just doesn't work. Whereas quality companies that have been going a long time, like us, like all the big corporates, they will be selling the more expensive chairs between £1,800 to £3,000. Reason being is because they understand over years, they have the knowledge, they understand people's disabilities. Like I've got a background in sports science, personal training, the human body, disabilities. All you've got to do is watch all my videos to know I know pretty much all the disabilities, exactly which chairs are going to suit what disabilities, how I'd set them up, and also what affects different people in different ways. You ask people, those sort of in-depth questions at a local mobility shops or these kind of the low grade, they wouldn't have a flipping clue where to even start. So the importance of buying not just quality chairs, but also from quality companies is we understand your needs. We'd ask all the questions, we understand and listen to what you're saying, and then we can make recommendations based on that. Right, I'm going to cut it off here. But yeah, we get asked this on a daily basis, like how do you compare to other companies? And they're trying to compare us to companies that have been going for a year in this price bracket. You can't, the answer simply is you can't compare. It's like, whatever, apples and oranges. Anyway, I'm going to cut this off now, but thank you for staying tuned, listening. Like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll keep putting out more educational videos, and we'll see you in the next one.